We will now have the presentation of the candidate for honorary degree. We honor this individual for his contributions to the common good in the tradition of St. Norbert College. Travis Van de Heuvel, a St. Norbert graduate from the class of 2009, will present our candidate. The citation was written by Dr. Anna Herman, Associate Professor of Communication and Media Studies. You can view the citation in its entirety in the commencement program, but first, I direct your attention to the video screens.
St. Norbert College is honored to recognize creator and co-founder of Make-A-Wish Foundation, Frank Shankwitz, as the recipient of an honorary degree for his deep commitment to living out communio through loving and serving others by granting life-changing wishes for children with critical illnesses, and his long and successful career in the nonprofit industry. Raised in northern Arizona, and after graduating from college, Frank began his career with the Arizona Department of Public Safety, where he was assigned to the Arizona Highway Patrol. Here, Frank's passion for working with children began. He started to visit local grade schools to discuss bicycle safety and let the children sit on his motorcycle. In 1978, when Frank was engaged in a high-speed chase on his motorcycle, he was hit by a drunk driver who ran a stop sign. Frank was pronounced dead at the scene, but a nurse who stopped at the crash site was able to revive him. Frank described the experience as the lights began to get brighter. In that moment, Frank thanked God for letting him survive, but also presented God with the question of why was his life spared? Frank's prayers were answered a few years later when he met a little boy named Chris, a 7-year-old with leukemia, who wanted to be a highway patrol motorcycle officer like his heroes, Ponch and John, from the television show Chips. Chris was made the first and only honorary Arizona Highway Patrol member, complete with a custom-made uniform, badge, and motor officer wings. He passed away from his illness a few days after receiving his wish and was buried with full police honors in Illinois, with Shankwitz leading the police funeral procession. Chris was the inspiration for Shankwitz's idea to start a nonprofit foundation that would let children make a wish and have it come true. In 1980, Shankwitz, along with his wife Kitty and several others, founded the Make-A-Wish Foundation. 39 years later, Make-A-Wish grants wishes through 62 chapters located throughout the United States and operates in 45 other countries around the world. Since its founding, the nonprofit foundation has granted approximately 480,000 wishes to children worldwide. Make-A-Wish granted 15,600 wishes last year alone, on average, one every 34 minutes. Shankwitz is a notable public speaker and was recognized as the #1 keynote speaker in 2016 by Forbes magazine. The author now of 3 books, Wishman, Once Upon a Wish, and a new children's book, Wishes Don't Wash Dishes. A major motion picture based on Shankwitz's books and life has been filmed and will be released this year. Today, we honor Frank for his unwavering commitment to assist those in need and for his determination to make the world a better place. His vision has led to tens of thousands of volunteers, donors, and supporters advancing the Make-A-Wish mission to grant the wish of every child diagnosed with a critical illness. Frank is a husband, father, mentor, and most significantly, he's an example for other people to follow. St. Norbert College is honored to confer upon Frank Shankwitz the degree of Doctor of Laws honoris causa, with all its rights and privileges.
President Brees, I have the privilege of presenting Frank Shankwitz and request that you confer upon him the honorary degree of Doctor of Laws.
Thank you, Mr. Van de Heuvel. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of St. Norbert College, I hereby confer upon you, Frank Shankwitz, the degree of Doctorate of Laws honoris causa and invest you with this hood in the insignia colors of the college. Congratulations. gonna hand you this for a picture. Okay. And we're gonna look right here.
That's a way to start a presentation, right? Thank you so much. Norbertine Fathers, Chairman Van Vesten, members of the Board of Trustees, President Bryce, Travis and Jessica, faculty, staff, distinguished guests, parents, and especially for today, the members of the St. Norbert College graduating class of 2019. I'm very humbled and honored to be invited to speak to you today on your special occasion. Now, I'm a retired homicide detective from the Arizona Department of Public Safety. I only mention this because during my 42 career as a police officer, I've conducted thousands of background investigations on suspects. And a new word for background check is vetting, which leads me to wonder how the Commencement Selection Committee ever selected me to speak to you today following their vetting process. You see, I'm from Arizona and an Arizona Cardinals fan. The Cardinals and Green Bay Packers are the oldest franchises in the NFL, with a rivalry between the two teams dating back to 1921. So you have a Cardinals fan in Green Bay territory, but I guess I should point out Green Bay has the leader in wins over the Cards 44-23. Yeah, I'll take that back home and explain it. The only thing at the moment that is preventing you from receiving your much-earned diploma is my presentation, and with that in mind, I promise to keep my remarks short. I was predominantly raised in Seligman, Arizona, a small town of 500 people on old Route 66 in northern Arizona. If any of you recall the Disney animated movie Cars, the fictional town of Radiator Springs was modeled after Seligman, Arizona. Being the son of a very poor single mother, I started working full-time at the age of 10 and learned how to take care of myself. I soon learned and was taught that whatever negatives I encountered in my young life, I could work to turn those negatives into positives. And that's the thought I hope to instill in you today. In future years, whenever you encounter a situation or someone tells you that you can't do something or it can't be done, look for a way to turn that negative into a positive. More important, try to surround yourself with positive people. Successful people keep a positive attitude. They don't allow themselves to become negative. The positive person is reliable and will work hard to complete a task. And more important, a positive person is usually a person of high character and integrity. Character and integrity is developed. It is not inherited. I'll also learn in my youth that respect is very important in the working world, as well as in your personal life. So as you move on to your future endeavors following graduation, remember to respect those around you, but more important, respect yourself in your actions, your thoughts, and which will help you earn the respect of others. Now, how proud you must feel today as you're about to complete one of life's greatest accomplishments in your life, your diploma. In today's world of entitlements, remember, no one gave you this. This is something that you work hard for and you earn. This is something that can never be taken away from you. Be proud to be a graduate of St. Norbert College. Wear that on your sleeve for the rest of your life with pride. Proudly display your diploma in your home, in your future office. Now, in the years to come, you will probably encounter some type of hiccup or setback in your personal career and may question what you have accomplished. That's when you look at your diploma and remind yourself that you are a graduate from St. Norbert College and you can achieve anything. During my tenure as a motorcycle officer with Arizona Highway Patrol in 1978, as we saw in the video, I was hit by a drunk driver, which resulted in, as I was told later, a spectacular crash. Fellow officers tried to revive me without success, and I was pronounced dead at the scene. Now, every officer I've ever worked with believes in a higher being. We go to work every day, we say a little prayer, asking to please allow us to come home at night at the end of our shift. And when we do get home, we say a thank you prayer. I also believe in guardian angels, and on that day of the accident, God sent an guardian angel in the form of an off-duty emergency room nurse who stopped at the scene and for over 4 minutes performed CPR, bringing me back to life. Why was I spared? What did God have a future plan for me? The question was answered in 1980 when the Arizona Highway Patrol was informed about a 7-year-old boy named Chris who had terminal leukemia and only a couple weeks to live. When the patrol learned that Chris had a wish, when he grew up, he wanted to be a highway patrol motorcycle officer like his heroes Ponch and John from the television show at the time, Chips, which was about the adventures of the California Highway Patrol motorcycle officers. The Arizona Highway Patrol made a wish happen by making him the first and only honorary Highway Patrol motorcycle officer in the history of the Highway Patrol, now 39 years ago, complete with a custom-made uniform badge, and most important to Chris, his uniform motorcycle wings. Unfortunately, Chris passed away a few days after receiving his wish. And when the Highway Patrol learned he was going to be buried in Kewanee, Illinois, my commander asked myself and my partner to attend and give Chris a full police funeral, as we had lost a fellow officer. Chris was buried in his uniform, and his grave marker reads, Chris Gracious, Arizona Trooper. But flying back to Arizona, I started thinking how Chris had a wish, and we made it happen. Why can't we do that for other children? And that's when the idea of the Make-A-Wish Foundation was born, with Chris being the inspiration. I learned why God had spared me. During the development of the foundation, I was told by numerous people that the idea wouldn't work because no one had ever heard of something like this, granting wishes to children with life-threatening illnesses. I wouldn't give up on my idea. I made it work, again turning that negative to the positive, resulting in what has become the largest wish-granting foundation in the world, granting wishes to children, now approaching 500,000 children since inception in 1980. An interesting statistic for the Make-A-Wish Foundation is a wish is granted to a child somewhere in the world on an average of every 34 minutes. And just think about that impact today as we're here for a couple hours, how many children have granted their wishes somewhere in the world today. Recently, I was told I had stickability in the development of the foundation. Stickability means you are not giving up your thought, your idea, your project, or goal. Remember that word, stickability. Don't give up. I'm reminded of a gentleman who became one of the many heroes during the 9/11 attacks on the Twin Towers at the World Trade Center in New York City. The Coast Guard and New York Harbor Police put out a call for all boat operators on the Hudson River to proceed to Battery Park and assist with the evacuation of people from the World Trade Center area. Every type of boat responded, from tug, sightseeing, commercial, private, and even small fishing boats. One of the commercial boat operators who worked for over 20 straight hours transporting people back and forth from Battery Park to the Jersey City side of the Hudson River. When asked why he did this and wouldn't stop until he knew everyone was safe and evacuated, he replied, "I never want to say the words I should have. If I do it and fail, I tried. If I do it and succeed, better for me. If you want to do something, do it. Never go through life saying, I should have." The gentleman had stickability. I encourage you to apply stickability to both your professional and personal life. Never give up on your goals and ideas. As I mentioned, I was raised in a small town and started working full-time as a dishwasher at the age of 10. My goal at the time was just survive. Meals were always an issue, sometimes far in between. Now, the population of Sligma was predominantly Mexican and American Indian, who were also poor. But these people went out of their way to make sure this young boy had something to eat, providing beans and tortillas whenever they could. One day, a gentleman in town, Juan Delgadillo, who became my father figure, counseled me and advised I should start giving back to those who had helped me. Not understand what he meant, he explained I didn't have to have money to give back. I could give back by pulling weeds and cleaning up the yards of Mrs. Sanchez, or I could help Mr. Ortega paint a railroad boxcar that was now the family home. You can give back by giving your time. It was the lessons in my youth that probably led me to a life of service, from serving the United States Air Force to a 42-year police career, and creating and co-founding one of the world's largest children's nonprofits, always hoping to give back, remembering those that helped me survive as a young boy. I recently read an article in USA Today about the concerns of recent college graduates, ranging from finding employment, raising families, but more interesting, how they can eventually give back to the community. I find that a very unselfish thought, that even before your age group starts thinking about themselves, they are thinking about how they can help others and give back to the community. I'm not sure who said this, but it fits. You can make a living by what you get, but you can make a life by what you give. Everyone can be a hero. I hope I live long enough or read about members of your graduating class who invented the next great thing, discovered the cure for an incurable disease, developed a new energy resource, or brought clean water to underdeveloped nations or even an area of the United States. What an exciting time for you and your future, and you are our future. I've learned that St. Norbert's College has a theme each year, and this year's theme is Contemplation, Action Begins from Within. I believe this is the perfect example of what I'm suggesting today, inviting you to engage the creative tensions between contemplation and action and between solitude and community life as you contribute to the community good. Noting today as Mother's Day, what a great gift for your mothers today, and I am sure they are and should be very proud. And to all the mothers in the attendance, happy Mother's Day. As you are ready to depart here today, remember my tagline, everyone can be a hero. When you say, be a hero is somebody's life. And finally, to the 2019 graduating class of St. Norbert's College, congratulations and God bless. Thank you. Thank you.
Frank, thank you for your vision, your perseverance, your grit, for your stickability, and for making all these wishes come true. And thank you for being here today to share your story.